and making our developers more productive were the themes for the announcement.
Because of where our joint clients are and the workloads that they're trying to manage on-premise and the workloads that they want to manage out in the public cloud. There are others, partners out there. We'll continue with the partnership. Partnership has to be based around the value that you bring to clients. And when we see joint value, you know what, we're going to get together. And you know, VMware and IBM, I'll tell you, we're in a lot of clients together. And our clients kept telling us, boy, here's some of the challenges we have, and here's some of the things that we would love to see. And you know, one of them was, boy, I'd love to see VMware and IBM, you know, kind of pull together, make it easier for me, make it consistent, make it seamless. Carl, you want to?
Yeah, no, I partnership with software. They ran VMware on top of their architecture. So, you know, this is just an extension of the partnership we had with software and building on the very strategic partnership we've had with IBM and Robert and his team for the last 14 years. And we hear from our joint customers, it's clear they, you know, it's not if, it's when they're going to move to the cloud. And they want to do it in a very consistent and seamless way with the same operating model and a similar tool set to do so. And this was just a great opportunity for us to come together, offer the VMware complete software-defined data center stack on top of their bare metal offering, and take advantage of their 40-plus data centers around the world that are all interconnected. So it's a pretty exciting announcement for us. And so far, I would tell you the early reaction, I think both Robert and I have got already at this point from our customers and our own employees, has been very favorable. IBM in the software cloud, right, their IBM cloud was one of our vCloud Air Network partnerships that we had. We have thousands of them around the world. They're one of the first partners to take the entire stack and offer the software-defined data center on a bare metal option. But VMware will continue to partner with our vCloud Air partners around the world. There's thousands of them in some of the most remote geographies in the world, delivering their cloud services based on VMware. None of that changes. We're just accelerating what we're doing with IBM. And they're the first one aggressively really taking the entire stack and bringing it to market. So it's not that we're moving away from our other partners, just like Robert said, we may partner with someone in the future. We respect that. We live in a friend and enemy world simultaneous. We call them frenemies these days. But this one's really important to us because we can take advantage of the global footprint they have, as we said earlier, that we don't see a lot of our other partners having those capabilities. So this is pretty exciting, but it doesn't mean we're moving away from our ecosystem that's got us to where we are today.
Which could really complement our offering, where of course there are many choices. We also looked at several others, and we made a choice. We decided for IBM, also because it was in time to market, speed is of the essence, and it's also based on standard software, which is then enabled with our also integration partner from Capgemini to bring it together with our Siemens software, and that's part of the ecosystem I was talking about. So there was a outstanding performance software, then availability based on standards, open to work with our
VMware client, and I'm very happy with the tools, and I'm happy with the monitoring and all the procedures I have. Then they can monitor across into the IBM cloud, so they view it as one environment. That's really important clients. Maybe if it's an IBM client and they want to use our monitoring capabilities to monitor the environment, they can monitor the environment. And we'll continue to work on tighter and tighter integration here as we go over time. It's not so much about whose software, it's about what is the client trying to do and what skills do the client have. Because they want to utilize the skills that they have to move faster. If they've got to train all of their IT shop and new tools, new procedures, it's going to take time. What we're trying to do is we're trying to make it easier and therefore allow them to accelerate the move to the hybrid cloud. So it's important that you give them the set of tools that they're already familiar with, that they've got people trained on.
Collaborational insights, all of those have been announced on the cloud as well. So the consistency of your environment, if Tivoli was what you were using on premise and now you want to use it in the cloud, you have that flexibility as well.
So make this partnership real and actually impact revenue and sales, either in terms of direct sales teams or the channel.
To sell each other's products and offerings. So on the IBM side, now the IBM rep or the IBM channel partner will have the ability to sell the VMware suite. And same thing on Carl's side, they have the ability to sell the software services to clients. So we want to make it as seamless as possible. And you know what? When the teams come together, we'll compensate both of our teams, because at the end of the day, it's about getting the value in front of the client. respective sales teams to do. So we'll be partnering inside of clients, because a lot of the clients are actually joint clients for both of us. And so we will both sell, market, and deploy together in key clients. Some clients will be VM-led, some will be IBM-led, some of them will be together.
The vCloud Era business, right, is still important to us. It allows us to be a platform that we can seamlessly give to our customers to do data center extension, do data center consolidation, do DR as a service. And we also use it as the framework to develop a lot of our hybrid cloud capabilities and solutions. So all of our software development we do in vCloud Era can then be turned over to partners like IBM, because it's tried, true, and it's already been proven in a hybrid cloud environment. So we use it as a proving ground to continue to offer our capabilities, not just to vCloud Era, but to the rest of our vCloud Era network partners. So we continue to own it, we continue to operate it, and that is our strategy going forward, with a very narrow use case of on-premise customers going to the public cloud. But we don't have the global footprint, to your point, right? We don't have 40 data centers around the world. It is a capital-intensive business, and this is why the partnership with IBM makes such great sense for us to leverage their platform around the world, their fiber network, and run our entire software stack on top of it. But we're going to continue to operate our vCloud Era product, and our vCloud Era network customer partners will actually leverage the software capabilities we develop on.
Genuine curiosity in trying to experiment with data to try to see if we can find predictive patterns in market behavior. Ultimately, we wanted to extend our ability to understand all of this information that we're drowning in. And so we discovered Bluemix. Literally a day or two, we built something that was predictive. That was so powerful that it improved one of our models by 550%. And that was an entry point for us. We then were able to partner with Watson, start to kind of expand, build a commercialized product that we're working on right now, train it on a larger set of data, and then deploy the commercial product on SoftLayer to the cloud. And it was really organic.
It's all being integrated, and actually IBM has a tremendous amount of experience already. NSX, for example, is something they've been offering networking capabilities on their cloud and secure, tunnels around, how they're running their business today with the NSX platform. So that's all together, and they're working on making it a seamless upgrade that they can do on top of their cloud for their clients, so that when these upgrades come out across the different products we had, they'll take care of that and offer that as part of the capability they have on.
We contribute to open source Swift. Obviously, we have been working with Apple in close partnership, as you know. When we start talking about Swift, we start talking about open sourcing Swift. We collaborated with Apple. That's something we do a lot. We do open source a lot. We know how to build communities, and certainly we collaborated with Apple to make that happen. We thought that was a very good thing. We're making contributions, and we saw an opportunity to contribute on the cloud side or the back end side, and that's what we announced today. You heard up on stage some of the things that we're doing. So we look at this as a way to accelerate the adoption again, and combining mobile and cloud. Mobile is driving a lot of the innovation and a lot of the new applications. So it made sense to allow the programmer to program both on the front end and the back end out into the cloud. So we'll continue to work very closely with Apple and Swift.org. You saw we put up a sandbox very, very quickly when we announced it, and we'll continue to collaborate, bring new technologies out to the market, and we'll see which ones really work with the programmers and which ones need enhancement, and we'll continue to work. So, the Apple partnership's been great, I think, for both firms, and the Swift one is really to help the developer. And there's 11 million developers out there building iOS applications who now can connect to the cloud. That, I think, is going to spur innovation, and that's what we all want. We always look at the opportunity to build a data center is really based around the amount of workload and the partnership. I want to go into a market where I can partner to make sure that I'm meeting the needs of the market. So you got to have all of the capability, including the networking and everything else that's enhanced there. I look at markets, and I go to markets where I see the opportunity, and I typically will do it when I have a good partnership. So most of the pods, the cloud pods that we put out in 2015, were done where I have a major anchor client. I always look for a major anchor client so I can ground this in true opportunity. Because what I don't want to do is just build it and hope they will come. I want to build it where I see real need, and when I have an anchor client and a partner that helps me build the pod or the cloud data center, then that's real value to look at somewhere else. You know, for some applications, that's okay. For a lot of enterprise applications that have sensitivity around data, or there is already systems that have been built, I don't want to just recreate the system or rewrite the system. So whenever it has a hybrid notion, we tend to do very, very well. Now, I like to say, you know, it's not a race for size, it's a race for value. So I'm not racing to be bigger than Amazon, I'm racing to have more value than Amazon. And when you think about the value for clients in a hybrid environment, where 80% of the enterprise clients, according to IDC, are going hybrid, that's where I see the market opportunity. And that's why a partnership with VMware, you know, was just a natural as we move to this hybrid. As I talk to clients, I've talked to no client in 6 months that says, I'm moving everything to the cloud, or any client that says, I'm moving nothing to the cloud. It's all, well, I'm moving 20% or 80%, but guess what? The challenges and the problems that we're helping clients solve are all the same. So if there's a hybrid nature of it, clients are trying to connect the data, or they want to have the data reside in country, so therefore my global backbone, my global set of data centers plays very, very well with clients. And if you've seen some of the announcements that we made, we're getting both current IBM clients and we're also getting new clients. So Every is a great one. You know, they have a large market share and host a lot of applications in Norway. They're moving off their infrastructure and moving on to the IBM cloud infrastructure because we can give them that scale that they need. And you know, scale is very, very important because guess what? The cost will continue to go down, and that's what clients are looking for. They're looking for also the economics of the cloud, and they're looking for the ability to do things that they couldn't do before. And when you think about the cloud and the availability of data, that not only the data I have in my own data center, but the data that's now available out on the cloud. Think of Twitter, think of Weather Channel data. You know, now the more data I have, the better I can do analytics, the better I can do cognitive, and the more value, you know, that I can have. And you're starting to see these kind of, okay, things like Cloud Foundry, things like Node.js, things like what we announced with Apple around Swift. What we're trying to do is enable hybrid that says you can come from any environment to the cloud in a hybrid. Not, hey, I can come from vendor A's product to vendor A's products out on the cloud. What we're trying to do is keep an open cloud and really utilize open technologies where it makes sense, and also look where are the clients. So things like we're doing with VMware, we're trying to open that up to the client. So I don't force the client to use my hypervisor if I go to one particular cloud, right? I'm allowing them to bring what they, you know, term to be value to the cloud and enabling them to manage in a much more seamless fashion. So our focus is just a little bit different than some of the other, you know, cloud providers that are out there. And then you look at the 40+ data centers we have around the world. We're on a private data backbone, which others are not. So there's things that make us unique and gives us unique value over some of the other players. Doesn't mean I don't solve every problem, nor do they solve every problem. But I am focused in on a class of applications and class environments where clients are trying to bring value and where they can utilize the investment they've made. If you look at the IT industry, there's trillions of dollars of investment that have been made. Clients don't want to throw it away and start over again. Very few clients have the opportunity. A startup may have that opportunity, but most of the clients that I deal with don't have that opportunity. So what I'm trying to do is make it easier for them, make it consistent, and make it seamless. And that's why partnerships, you know, like with VMware is really, really important for the client. You always have to look at it from the client in, not the technology out. Well, we have a lot of collaborations with Samsung and others, but we did announce a collaboration with SK, and we're actually building a pod, a software pod that we're putting in Korea, and we announced that late last year. So we'll continue that work. And again, we look for partnerships, and when I have strong partnerships, then I'll continue to expand, you know, the global reach that we have. And partnerships, I'm not going to comment on any of the discussions or partnerships that we're having. Partnership has got to be where both sides see value. And when there's value and we're both open, you know what, this is an open world and we have to collaborate. You know, Carl, you know, talked about that earlier. You know, it is a co-opetition. Sometimes you cooperate and sometimes you're in competition. And we're always open because being open to multiple partnerships really brings value to the client. We always try to look at it from the client in, not who am I partnering with, but what does that mean to the client? What value does the client have? And so as an example, Swift, you know, going to open source, you know, you can anticipate that that will start to show up on multiple platforms. We think that's the value got together, and we brought blockchain to the open community. We announced that. We've been also announced a service on top of our IBM cloud, and we announced a WebSphere blockchain. In fact, Marie owns it, so I'll let Marie answer the second part of the question. But, you know, blockchain is still very early. It's one of those technologies that are very hot. There's a lot of people looking at blockchain and seeing how it applies. That whole kind of ledger technology obviously could have a major impact on the financial services industry being one. But we believe that that technology can apply to supply chain. There's all business processes that, you know, you passing information ledger and you're trying to coordinate and everything else. We think that technology could apply to multiple different spaces, and we want to make it easy for programmers and for companies to start to play around to see what the possibilities are. I think it's very, very early. We were the first one to put up a service on the cloud, and when we put a service on the cloud, we're trying to make it easy for everyone to get access to the technology without making a major investment. It's similar to what we did with Watson and Cognitive, and make Cognitive available to the masses. We're now making blockchain available to the masses.
So really, you guys, so good first.